just them, their ice flights have quadrupled. We know in 2019 they charged $34,000 per flight hour for similar removal. He noticed that there were never any kids being loaded onto the planes. And then the Liam Ramos story happened. You know, the story of his capture was national news within hours. Nick knew he'd definitely never seen Liam being loaded, so he looked and saw that the only nonstop flights between Minneapolis and San Antonio that day were operated by Delta. Nick foiled the footage from the airport to get evidence of this, and he took it to a major news outlet. The major news outlet didn't seem particularly interested. They were sort of dragging their heels, so he gave it to me. I reported it out in a couple of days, posted the story, and turns out that people really did care that Delta was doing this.
Why did you want to hold Delta's feet to the fire here?
Well, I mean, in Trump's first term, the family separation policy, they were flying kids who'd been separated from their parents across the country to different detention centers on a bunch of airlines. And the way that that ended was a flight attendant did one of these flights, was disgusted, and ranted about it on Facebook. It became national news. All of the airlines that are unionized, so not Delta, got together, released a statement saying, we're not having unaccompanied minors in ICE custody on our planes anymore. By the end of the day, the Trump administration announced that it was ending the family separation policy.
In all of the reporting that you've done,
all from a
which
Facebook
stories
post
have stuck with you?
Traumatized.
I mean, I think about this woman, Rabiatu Kuyate, all the time. I live in Prince George's County, Maryland. She lived just down the road from me. Her son might have gone to the same school that my kid goes to now. She is from Sierra Leone. She was in the US for 30 years. She had protections from removal to Sierra Leone. She had no criminal record. She had not done anything wrong. ICE scooped her up last summer and then last fall put her on a plane to Ghana, a country she'd never been to. She said that on the plane, a man who had asked for his medication was put in the wrap in this full body straitjacket and put upside down for the entire. I talked to a flight attendant who quit soon after that, and they said that the man was screaming, I'm already a dead man, I'm already a dead man. She was imprisoned in a hotel for a couple of weeks and then forced to return to Sierra Leone. Really awful video that went viral enough for being her back. As soon as she got back to Sierra Leone, she fled again, and she's been in hiding for the last 8 months. You know, she's a registered nurse. She owns a home. She's so stuck, and I just think about her all the time. How unfair it is.
I want to ask you about your origin story on this beat, May 20th, 2025, when you called the Irish airport and, to use your word, you... A traditional reporter might say, my job is just to let readers know that this is happening. Why did you cross that line and try to
do something,
stop it while the story was still unfolding?
I mean, the short answer is just that I felt a moral obligation. I knew that the plane was only going to be there for a short period. I tried to call friends in Ireland. It was 2 a.m. They were asleep. I didn't think that I was going to be able to figure out, should I call the transportation minister or the foreign minister? Is there a human rights person? Who do I call? I don't know. It was 2 a.m. I mean, I wasn't covering it when I did that call, but as a former flight attendant, I do see myself as having a moral obligation to say something about how unsafe all of these flights are. Not just the third country removals, every single ICE flight. There were 78 ICE flights yesterday. Every single one of them was dangerous because the people were shackled. And you can't evacuate within 90 seconds with shackled people. You know, when I talk to my friends who aren't in journalism about, well, I did this thing, and so now a lot of places will never hire me. They're like, you mean you acted like a human? You did a human thing? They don't see the big deal. And I know that there are probably some of my former colleagues listening who are going, nope, you crossed the line, you're done. And I just think that these traditional ideas that we've had about journalism are not cut out for the times that we're in.
Since it's
well
become
said.
harder for you to pitch these stories to mainstream outlets, how has that affected your ability to
Letter now, and I publish my stories there. I keep my third country removal tracker there. People can pay to subscribe, and I'm making more now than I was
Nice.
freelancing. And, you know, I'm able to publish more frequently than when I was having to pitch stories, but I'm not making enough to live on. I've pulled from
This
twice.
helps.
I don't want to have to do it again. I'm probably going to have to soon. I'm looking for a place to take my work in-house. You know, I wish I had an editor. I wish I had an entire team to be filing FOIAs and working contacts in host countries. And I'm drowning in stories and not making enough. Times are hard for everybody right now, myself included. And to be honest, I do worry that I have screwed up my career. I think I've done the right thing, but I don't know where I go from here.
Do you regret making that call?
No, I wish it had worked.
Gillian, thank you so much for doing what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Gillian Brock, GillianBrockel.com. That's it for this week's show. Media is produced by Molly Rosen, Rebecca Clark-Callender, and Candace Wong, with help from Ella Walsh. Travis Mannon is our video producer.
Our technical director is Jennifer Munson. Blondio is our senior producer, and our executive producer is Katya Rogers. On the Media is produced by WNY.
KCFR Denver, 1490 AM, KCFC Boulder, on HD at 90.1 FM at CPR.org, and on your smart speaker. Say play CPR News.
Are you already a supporter or about to start your membership? You might be able to double your investment
All right.
with CPR.
Colorado Today will take you to stories shaping Colorado right now. From mountains to
The news.
Colorado news and stories. Colorado Today from Colorado Public Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With support from Safeway.
Whoa.
This is the TED Radio Hour.
Oh, it's a TED
Each
Radio
week,
Hour.
groundbreaking TED Talks
Our job now is to dream big,
delivered at TED conferences
to bring about the future we want to see,
around the world.
to understand who we are.
From those talks, we bring you speakers and ideas that will surprise you,
You just don't know what you're gonna find.
challenge you,
We try to ourselves, like, why is it noteworthy?
and even change you. I literally feel like I'm a different person. Yes. Do you feel that way? Ideas worth spreading. From TED and NPR. I'm Manoush Samarodi.
Thanks,
Coming up.
Manoush.
GLP-1s hold an enormous amount of promise. There were just so many stories. People wanted to drink alcohol less, they didn't want to smoke much. Some it's going to be the cure of addiction. They don't extinguish our desires, but they help us keep them in check.
On the show today, addiction, GLP-1s, and empathy.
Great
First,
news fact. Oh, it's Climate Watch.
How much do you pay for a cup of coffee? And how much of that is down to the climate? This is Climate Watch from the BBC.
Favorite useless fact is what the chatbot wanted me to ask everybody.
Why can't we just stop emitting carbon altogether?
Yeah, that's the only important question.
I'm Caroline Steele.
Let's
In some
go!
western cities, it currently costs as much as $6 for a cup of coffee. But what's causing that? And will prices ever come down again? The BBC's Faisal Islam went to
Money's
Turin in northern
worth
Italy
less
to
than it
try
used
and
to
find
be,
out.
not more, which is why inflation is so stupid, because people are the ones with all the money. It's their money that's worth less than it used to be.
Train engine, which is in fact the first espresso machine from Morion in 1984. At that point, it becomes a staple drink in Italy and a drink of the masses, a cheap drink. And it's been like that for decades since. But in recent years, that price point has
Super jacked up.
increased. And it does raise the question, how do you deal when a price shock? This is a pretty good place to find out.
I come in the museum.
I've come here to meet Giuseppe Lavazza. His great-grandfather launched the famous coffee brand 130 years ago. Giuseppe is now chairman of the business.
Complexity and troubles.
I begin by
famous
asking
coffee
him
brand?
what's causing the current volatility in the coffee market.
This kind of business has been affected many years by climate effects. So when we saw frost in Brazil in 2021 after COVID, the effect was devastating, and the prices lasted for about 4 years. And then the inflation, record price, geopolitical crisis, the Suez Canal, now another big crisis, another war.
I'm gonna guess what your comment is about.
Tariffs. So really, we went through
Before I read it.
incredible difficulties.
A long list of troubles.
I don't think it's gonna be anything about content of the radio.
Every day we saw the coffee prices going up, breaking records.
It's gonna reveal something about your particular psychosis or psychology.
Exactly as alcohol is.
It's not just the financiers playing the market.
Okay, let's read it.
Part
Let's see
of
if I was right.
Vietnamese coffee farmers'
It's
daily
not gonna be
ritual
anything about
now
coffee
involves
or
the 4:30
climate change or
morning
anything.
app check of the Robusta futures price in
It's gonna be
Vietnamese
about
dong.
your
Farmers
particular
that did
psychosis.
harvest enjoyed extraordinary windfalls from last year's prices.
Let's read it in a minute and see what it
Storing
says.
Hundreds of thousands of bags of coffee, which otherwise would have been exported.
What? Oh my gosh, what's going on my tennis ball headed, brother? Yeah, we're not like on terms.
Faisal is the climate might continue to affect the price of your morning tea. And that was Climate Watch from the BBC.
Oh, at least it's over.
There's no other show like it.
An interview program dedicated to
On Freakonomics Radio.
Saturday nights at 10 on KRCC and CPR News.
What makes a place feel like home? When life changes in a big way or takes you to a new place, how do you find a new sense of belonging? I'm Nathan Fernando Francis. I'm
Somebody
hosting
that
a live
loves you.
event centered on the experiences of refugees, immigrants, and adoptees like me. Join us for storytelling, music, and even lion dancing Wednesday at the History Colorado Center in Denver. For details, come to cpr.org/events.
It's the TED Radio Hour from NPR. I'm Manoush Zamarodi. Today on the show, ideas about addiction and moderation.
I think moderation is so important. There are so many things in life that we want a little of, maybe quite a bit of, but not too much of. And, Aristotle obviously had this insight many centuries ago.
This is Dhruv Kular. He is a physician at Weill Cornell Medical
Aristotle
College.
said.
And he would love his patients to live by Aristotle's famous words. It is best to rise from life as from a banquet, neither thirsty nor drunken. But in the modern era,
Our world is kind of designed for too much these days. It's just inundated with content and food and desire and all sorts of things.
for some people, just having access to all these earthly delights makes moderation impossible. Take a woman named Mary, for example.
I met Mary last year. She's a middle-aged woman, and she has been struggling with alcohol addiction for decades. She told me that she started drinking when she was 18 years old, and soon after she could drink something like 18 beers in a sitting and barely even seem buzzed. And Mary tried all sorts of things to try to cut back on her drinking. She entered Alcoholics Anonymous. She used a medication called Antabuse. She tried alcohol rehab, but none of them were effective. And she struggled with alcohol, and it started to really take a toll on many aspects of her life.
Then, about a year ago, she was at a bar with a friend who usually also liked to drink a lot.
But that evening, Mary noticed that her friend had barely touched her drink. And her friend told her that she started taking Ozempic. And now she could barely bring herself to drink more than 2 beers at a time. And Mary was really interested in this. She'd always thought of Ozempic as kind of a obesity medicine or a diabetes medicine, and she was
Nobody
wondering,
thought
you know,
about it as a
what did it have
diabetes
to do
medicine,
with
but we all thought about it as
drinking?
weight loss because
And
it
as
was
it
a
happened,
huge
the next
craze.
day, she saw this advertisement on Facebook that there was a clinical trial nearby that was studying whether Ozempic or
What a
semaglutide could help
coincidence.
people
The Fash
with
book
alcohol addiction.
had an ad for what she was talking to
So
her friend about.
Mary enrolls in the trial, and every week the researchers blindfold her and they inject her with the medication. It's either placebo or it's semaglutide or Ozempic. And within weeks, she notices that she doesn't really like to drink beer anymore. And this is something that she's been doing for decades. She switches to white wine, and then after that, she just stops drinking altogether. And what she told me was that Ozempic really got rid of not just the food noise in her head, which is what a lot of people describe, but what happened for her was it took out alcohol noise. And so she had been ruminating about alcohol for most of her life.
Why don't you just say the
where to
name of the
drink, how
podcast?
much to drink, how not to drink. And all of a sudden that
I'm not
seemed
going to be live
to
much longer.
vanish. And she told me that she could finally start to think about other things in her life because alcohol wasn't really an issue anymore. And she made a lot of changes. She started exercising. She really improved her diet. She'd been having marital problems for years and always kind of thought about whether to end that relationship and suddenly did when she started on Ozempic during this trial. You know, in Mary's case, she also experienced pretty significant reduction in her appetite. And so there were days where she was eating, 300, 400, 500 calories a day. And she lost 55 pounds in just 5 months.
Oh my gosh.
And she ended up having to come off the medication because she lost so much weight so quickly. But, she was able to maintain her sobriety afterwards. So even after she came off the medication, really, she's had a much healthier relationship with alcohol, and she's maintained her lower weight, and she's maintained her healthier lifestyle. For her, it's been a really positive experience.
I mean, she must feel like she's a completely different person in some ways.
She does. I mean, it seems like I don't think she realized how much alcohol was driving a lot of her behavior and her thinking, and she was really able to, in a way, reinvent herself after she started on Ozempic.
I gotta go.
Nearly 1 in 6 Americans age 12 or older has a substance use disorder.
He said,
We know
Iran the
addiction
latest
can
and
be
Ukraine the
genetic,
latest.
and
At
yet
the
shame
Telegraph.
still shapes how we talk about it. Now,
Okay, well,
a
we'll
class
see what
of
they say
drugs,
if they're Russian
GLP-1s,
propaganda or not,
promises
like you
to
guys are.
change how we understand and treat addiction. But is it really a silver bullet? Today on the show, ideas about the brain, addiction, and empathy. How medical breakthroughs are revealing more about how the mind responds to the modern world.